have passed, still feel the pain. Many nights and days, still feel the pain. When the dark cloud covered the surface of the earth, and suicide became an option to be free. Human blood became the coil of rainbow, and children couldn't sing Latido. That was a birth of many diseases. Until then we can't defeat. And yet some people haven't dropped their guns. Them still they fight. Everywhere is war, war, political war. We've got war, war, economical war. We've got war, war, hey, we've got war. Why can't we stop the fighting? Someone is calling out for help. Can you hear? Someone is calling very loud. Can you hear? He's been calling for so long to stop the order to drop the bomb. Said Dr. Slim, sing to the world, because a song can save the world. You know that war brought many diseases, and today we can defeat. See, yet some people haven't dropped their guns. Them still they fight. Everywhere is war, war, political war. We've got war, war, economical war. We've got war, war, eh. We've got war. Stop the fighting. Central Africa, why can't we stop the fighting?
Today is September 21st, 2024, and tomorrow would be September 22nd, 2024. On September 22nd in 2017 was the day Ambazonians rejected French Cameroon and the beginning of the genocidal onslaught. The Republic of Cameroon, more accurately referred to as La République du Cameroun, had long been predicted to be a ticking time bomb for numerous reasons. Historians, after describing the fraudulent amalgamation of La République du Cameroun with Southern Cameroon's post-1961 as a brutal experiment masterminded by Charles de Gaulle, the people of Southern Cameroons were manipulated and coerced into a union that would only cost them their sovereignty for over 5 decades. Even their most basic human rights were on the line. La République du Cameroun entered this union with a clear agenda. Only 11 years later, the Federal Republic of the Cameroons was fraudulently transformed into the United Republic of Cameroon. By 1984, it had been entirely subsumed into La République du Cameroon, an outcome that the intelligent lawyer from southern Cameroon's Fon Gorgi Dinka aptly described as cessation by dissolution. In 1986, the CIA had already foreseen challenges for the Biya regime, noting that the southern Cameroons, which the Bulu regime considers an Anglophone minority, is a potential time bomb, and should the colonial government fail to respect their rights, an outbreak of violence would be a significant setback to Biya's effort to develop national unity and reconciliation. Now, fast forward to 2017, in the Colonial National Assembly of La République du Cameroon, the defiant Honorable Joseph Wiba, representing the Jakiri Special Constituency, addressed his colleagues regarding the political uprising in southern Cameroon. He vehemently declared, "When the people shall rise, even if you bring the whole of the French army and add to yours, you shall not be able to stop them." This powerful statement underscored the deep-seated resentment and determination of the people of southern Cameroon, territory of Ambazonia. It marks the beginning of an intensified genocidal onslaught against the peace described as cessation by dissolution. In 1986, the CIA had already foreseen challenges for the Biya regime, noting that the southern Cameroons, which the Bulu regime considers an Anglophone minority, is a potential time bomb, and should the colonial government fail to respect their rights, an outbreak of violence would be a significant setback to Biya's effort to develop national unity and reconciliation. Now, fast forward to 2017, in the Colonial National Assembly of La République du Cameroon, the defiant Honorable Joseph Wiba, representing the Jakiri Special Constituency, addressed his colleagues regarding the political uprising in southern Cameroon. He vehemently declared, "When the people shall rise, even if you bring the whole of the French army and add to yours, you shall not be able to stop them." This powerful statement underscored the deep-seated resentment and determination of the people of southern Cameroon's Revolutionary Day, September 22nd, 2017, was marked as the day Ambazonians unequivocally rejected French Cameroon. It was a pivotal moment that set off a series of events culminating in a genocidal onslaught. This day stands as a stark reminder of the cost of denying people's basic rights and the lengths to which they will go to reclaim their sovereignty. Now, on Friday, September 22nd, 2017, millions of southern Cameroonians from the smallest hamlets to the largest metropolises at home and throughout the diaspora sent shockwaves across the globe with a unified message. The 56-year colonial occupation of the southern Cameroons by La République du Cameroon is over. From children as young as 5 to grandmothers and grandfathers over 90, the message was consistent: Ambazonia is rising, never to fall again. As early as 8:30 a.m. on that fateful Friday in 2017, the small village of Bafia in Muyuka ignited the peaceful protest candle with a massive crowd of over 5,000 people. They chanted patriotic and freedom songs and marched towards the chief's palace carrying green branches and the blue and white colors of Ambazonia. As instructed by the then Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia Governing Council, the SCAGC, headed by His Excellency Sako Julius Ayuk-Tabe. Before the spectacular videos and images from Bafia could be fully digested on social media, Ekona had also caught the flame. The unquenchable flames of peaceful protest spread across the entire southern Cameroon, continuing to burn until the early evening hours of that historic day. a day of reckoning, resistance, and the genocidal onslaught. On this very day, the good, the bad, and the ugly transpired within just hours, while millions of Ambazonians, both at home and abroad, peacefully protested against Charles de Gaulle's brutal experiment, the Franco-Cameroon hegemony, recolonization, annexation, and annihilation of southern Cameroons. The bloodthirsty, trigger-happy genocidal army of Paul Biya was busy maiming, intimidating, and slaughtering these peaceful protesters. According to the media and proxies of La République du Cameroon, 122 innocent civilians were killed in cold blood with iron bullets for these peaceful protests. However, based on Ambazonia's counts, close to 400 lives were lost. The question remains, why should even a single soul be wasted for a legitimate, peaceful claim? Against this backdrop, 7 years later, the leader of the movement, President Samuel Sako, would christen September 22nd as Revolution Day. This day has gone down in the annals of history as the moment when the ticking time bomb of southern Cameroons fully exploded. It is a day that sparked a revolution, one that has forever changed the trajectory of Ambazonia. It marks the beginning of an intensified genocidal onslaught against the peace-loving peoples of southern Cameroon's Ambazonia. It is a day of mourning, a day of rejoicing, and a day of hope. Well, this editorial is scripted by our esteemed news director, Ta Paddy King, and that will be all from me here.
There is a civil war ongoing in Cameroon. That civil war is between the southern Cameroon's people and the government of the Republic of Cameroon. These were two countries that the United Nations, by their resolutions, tried to bring together to form a new country, the Federal Republic of the Cameroons, that La République du Cameroon decided to dissolve unilaterally, unconstitutionally, and rather preferred to annex the people of the southern Cameroons. And today, there is no longer any federal republic that was contemplated when the United Nations forced these two countries to come together. So, this is a failed decolonization that has resulted to the annexation of the people of the southern Cameroons. The UN has never looked into this matter like they have for other conflicts in Asia and Ukraine. No. For the 7 years that this conflict has lasted, 1.5 million people displaced, hundreds of thousands of refugees, more than 500 villages and settlements destroyed, burned to ashes, and more than 50,000 lives have been wasted. These are human beings. We are calling on the good people of Brazil and on the good people of the African diaspora to do everything possible to engineer a peaceful resolution to this bloody conflict. They can do that by engineering a proper mediation of this conflict or refer the matter to the International Court of Justice for arbitration so the two parties can present themselves for a peaceful resolution of this conflict. Thank you very much. I'm the president of the Southern Cameroons. My name is Samuel Sako. Thank you.
It's another year and another Independence Day for a people at war. Once again, the time has come for Ambazonians across the globe to unite and celebrate their independence on October 1st. A day of pride, hope, and renewed purpose is upon us.
As we mark this significant occasion with cultural representations, dances, military parades from the Ambazonian State Army, all eyes will turn to the leader of the revolution.
Fellow Ambazonians, patriotic diasporans, I salute all of you gathered around our flag on this national day, our Independence Day.
President Samuel Sako on the eve of Independence Day. Join us on September 30th at 8 p.m. as President Samuel Sako addresses the nation.
Today, as the Never Again generation, we have one assignment to right this great wrong through the sword of justice. with the flame of our courage and the undying spirit of our righteous resolve. So whether we live or die, let it be for Ambazonia.
In these trying times, amidst an 8-year conflict with La République du Cameroon, President Sako's words are expected to spark hope and chart a new direction.
Let me tell you again in a simple language. The person who does not want his neighbor to sleep should expect a knock on his door.
While the date for the war to end remains uncertain, brace yourselves for a roadmap towards a smarter prosecution of our liberation movement, a vision full of promise and determined leadership. Prepare to be inspired as we honor our journey and look forward to a brighter future.
To remind the world of our genocide and the injustice done to us as a nation by France and the complicit international community. Share our story with passion and courage, knowing that no one feels our pain more than we do, and no one knows our story more than those who have lived it, us. Let us fight as one man.
Tune in live across all multimedia platforms and catch this monumental speech only on your favorite TV channel. Don't miss this pivotal moment. Together, let's reignite the spirit of Ambazonia.
This Independence Day, immerse yourself in the words of our leader. Be part of history in the making.
Wow, good evening, good afternoon, fellow Amazonians. Patriotic salute to all our ASA forces at home front and freedom greetings to all Amazonian revolutionaries across the world. Thank you all for joining us today to talk about this 22nd of September, which is in memory of the events in 2017. We've just watched the great editorial written by our very own Tao Paddy King and well and excellently presented by Sarah Smart, by Star Smart. Sorry. Thank you all for this wonderful, wonderful day. And if you're joining us on all our platforms, please share on every social media platform. Invite everyone to join us today as we remember this day where we all this whole revolution kick-started from, where the steam was increased and we all became aware of the need to stand for absolute liberation for the people of Ambazonia. And as you can see, I've been joined today by this great Ambazonia woman, these women, and you know them all. Um, First, I've been joined by Dr. Patience Abiedu and Winnie Lobati and our able ABC director, um, Ma Endeley. Thank you all for joining for this program today. And just before we get into the conversation on this 22nd, which we are doing in memory or in remembrance as a Revolution Day, coined by our president. There's no better way to describe it because it was the day the revolutionary spirit was ignited in all Ambazonian, including animals in our land, understood the need for a revolution on the 22nd of September 2017. And today, 22nd of September 2024, we are discussing and having a conversation, just coming and in addition to the editorial that was a vivid description of the events that happened on that day and that has proceeds since the 22nd of September 2017. Thank you all for watching and make sure you share. And I would call on Dr. Patience to, give a word or two, followed by Ma Winnie Lobati and Ma Endeley. And we proceed with the conversation this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you, Lady Casey.
Greetings, my sisters. Welcome to this special edition. I would say edition of the Horizon, because we didn't have the Horizon on Friday, and today, September 22nd, we thought it would be the best day to bring us together, sisters, women of the revolution, to talk about this special day. I want to start by greeting everyone watching from the home front, from neighboring Nigeria, where most of our refugees reside, and all over the diaspora, all over Africa. You know, it's so sad that this day may have been the beginning of your journey to where you are right now, where you left home. And for some of us, this day may have been the beginning of us being somehow in exile. But let me just say this briefly before my other sisters comment, that the former United Nations Secretary, General Secretary, Dag Hammarskjöld, did say that uniting Southern Cameroons with La République is like forcing a balloon into under the sea. One day it will come out. September 22nd, 2017 was that day that we came out. Because you cannot keep a people as slaves, enslaved forever, without them standing for their rights. So today, 7 years later, we are talking about that great day in our history when we condemned the union that was forced upon us by the United Nations, by Britain, and by France. Thank you so much, my sisters. Over to you.
Ma Winnie, over to you.
Thank you, Lady Casey, and my patients, my Emma. Thank you for all having me here, and to our viewers all over the world, especially those at home front. Thank you for letting us into your homes. I know for some of you, it's like another September 22nd, where some of your satellite dishes are put down and some of you are still being dragged and detained illegally. We are aware of that happening. So, just looking back at September 22nd of 2017, I would say I think we need to go back before. Our people had actually started protesting. If you can remember, right after the independence, when things happened and late Pa Molanjo Litumbe, excuse me, had actually organized a protest in Boya shortly after our independence in 1961. But the military of La République du Cameroun blocked every entrance. For those of you who know Boya, Boya is one of those places that it's almost like one way in, one way out. It's not really a place that you can have multiple exits. It's difficult unless you are an indigene that might know roads behind the mountains. So when that happened, the block people were coming from all the way from Donga Mantum, as we know it today, county, and all over, and they were to convene in Boya and do a demonstration. And BBC, believe it or not, I think they were there as well. However, that kept with the strong hand of Haijo, they kept suppressing, kept harassing, and they put a lot of spies in the ground. So if you ever said anything, they were going to pick you up and you would disappear. And intimidation became the norm. I'm just giving a little bit of historical background to know how we got to September 22nd, 2017. And when we move forward, 1984, Bia, oh no, let me go back, 1972, Haijo pretended to have a referendum to unite, um, move from Federation to United Republic of Cameroon. Then a few years later, to be exact, maybe 12 years later or so, Bia moved from United Republic of Cameroon back to La République du Cameroun, which was the name they attained at independence, hoping that they had finalized their um, getting us um, really merge into them and really lost on our identity. But I thank God we still had some of our fathers who knew our history and understood our history and kept it. And they kept passing it from one generation to the other. There may not have been many of them who knew about it, but a few of them were holding that candle of our history, our identity, all the way to when they had the SDF, which was supposed to have been a platform where we were going to launch from there and move on. And it was hijacked into some other thing in La République du Cameroun. And then as you know, then the NCNC came along, the SCAPO and the others came. But all they were doing was preserving our identity and our history. The lawsuits that ensued, Goji Dinka that in 84 spoke out, was put under house arrest and locked in. Even that said that most of our leaders and, and, and citizens are currently under the torture. So a lot of our leaders, they've paid a big price. Come 2016, there was this awareness that, thank God to social media, that helped us. So those who had our story, our identity, our history were able to propagate that information now because of the advent of using social media. So our people really understood what had happened, how we were duped. And so it made it easier for them to come as one voice when the former president of the interim government, Julius Ayok, now asked and gave we had the plan, clean the communities, go to the palace, and then on the 22nd of September 2017, this was a rally to tell the international community that we know who we are. And we also now declared, because we reminded the world of our independence and our identity on that day. And unfortunately, Mr. Paul Biya released an onslaught of his military people and my police, gendarmes, army, BIR, and people who only held green branches were slaughtered in their numbers, because it was all across the Ambazonia territory that this was happening. And of course, Independence Day was at the corner. The hope was we were going to tell the world, and then on October 1st, we were going to celebrate our independence. But it turned out to be a big massacre. And even October 1st that year also was a massacre day.
Thank you very much, Mawini, for that vivid explanation of the series of events. And this is why I describe the 22nd as the Revolutionary Day. It's a day that ignites the revolutionary spirit of a greater number of Amazonians across the world, and especially at home front. Ma Endeley, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lady Casey. Yes. First of all, I want to greet all Ambazonians. I want to, and the rest of the world, everybody who's watching us, all our friends, our partners, and even our enemies. I always like to thank our enemies because that is the reason why we are where we are today. Yes, the date of 22nd September is it's a day of reckoning. It's a very sad day for us because it reminds of us of why we are in this struggle. It reminds us the reason why 60,000 people have been slaughtered from our territory, from southern Cameroon's Ambazonia. It reminds us why 300 to 400 villages have been burnt down because of the scorched earth policy of La République, which they learned from France. They've been schooled by France because we have examples like Haiti. It reminds us of all the widows, of all the fatherless children, of all the women who have lost their children and their husbands who will never come back. So September 22nd was the beginning of the actual genocide, even though the struggle had started from day one, from September 30th, 1961. Those who were involved realized even at that point that they had been duped, that they had been blindfolded, that they had been taken taken as hostages. It started way back then, but the actual explosion, boom, was 22nd of September 2017. And as we discuss the issues today that have led us to this point, you cannot solve a problem without going back to its roots. If you have a boil, no matter what you put on that skin, on the boil, it will not go away. You have to operate that boil and suture everything. Sorry for being so graphic, but you have to get to the root of a problem. And this day, September 27th, cannot, it cannot be ignored. It cannot be ignored. It's a very important day, and that's why we are here today to talk about it. Thank you, ladies, for joining me on this panel. I'm very grateful, Mape, as usual, for having me to talk and to talk to my people, to talk with my people, and share our ideas. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you, our able director of one of the powerful tool that has kept the revolutionary spirit alive in all of us, ABC Amba TV. Thank you very much for your excellent work and your patience with Ambazonians, different characters and personalities, and you have managed and dealt with each individual so graciously. We are grateful. We appreciate. Thank you so much. And now we'll now continue with this conversation. Um, Mawini has brought a very important part that the persecution of our people have started since we realized we were duped in 1961 and when the protest started and the different schemes and force and brute force like La République du Cameroon and their various leaders, interestingly, all their leaders have agreed or participated in oppressing, annexing the people of former British Southern Cameroon, now known as Ambazonian. Mape, I'll come to you. You know, we know the 22nd of September was the day the masses came out and were able to have the peaceful process, which resulted to the start of the brute killing of our people. In view with the series of events that led to that day, um, what would you like to say to our people in significance in regards to the significance of that day in our freedom quest.
Yes, thank you, Lady Casey. You know that La Republique did shut down internet in our territory from, I believe, January of 2017 to March of 2018. So when this massacre was taking place on September 22nd, internet had been shut down. So the little that we caught on videos was not really well broadcasted. Now, you asked a question about the significance of this day. Let me say this, that those of us who grew up in the 60s, I'll go back and even go to the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. We lived in a time in southern Cameroon, especially at the time when the capital was still in Boya. Well, it's still in Boya, but the capital of southern Cameroon was in Boya before our parents were convinced to relocate to Yaoundé. Those of us who lived during that time, we saw a different southern Cameroon compared to what the younger people are seeing now. We saw a country where people were respected, where there was rule of law, where there was order, there was cleanliness. Dr. Mungo and Dr. Lobati were on the horizon last week talking about the sanitation workers that used to be in place. We had banks, we had corporations, we had airports, we had a lot of things that made us stand out as a unique nation. Our University of Boya and other technical schools welcomed citizens from other countries to come train there. So we had all these triplings that make a nation, a thriving nation. What did La Republique do when it decided to join us in the fake federation? They systematically destroyed those institutions we had in place. And then when it came to time for our people to get into professional schools, to universities, our people didn't have the opportunities because they had to bribe. And even after bribing, they were not giving the go-ahead. So it was already a plan, which we all remember that Biya said when he went to the Paris climate seminar or conference, said that they have been trying to integrate Southern Cameroonians to their La République du Cameroun for so many years, but it was a failed experiment. So these are all examples of things that have been happening throughout the years. Because mind you, if when we had the fake federation in October 1st, 1961, if La République really had a treaty in place, if they respected our institutions and separated us to do what we have been doing for years, where we build our own economy, We built our own schools. We had our own great infrastructures. If they respected us as a people, then we will not be here today, because our forefathers had all the good intention of making that experiment work. But La Republique had other intentions. And they knew from the get-go that our land was a land of wealth. They knew that they had won the lottery, if I were to use the American way of winning something. They that just won the lottery. And for the fact that France, who was still ruling La République du Cameroun, had made them sign that cooperation agreement in 1959, just enveloped us, just consumed us into that experiment, into that problem, because now we were part of it. And all the wealth we have in our territory, our oil, our rare minerals, our rubber, our plantation, you see, we have so many unique trees that have been deforested over the years, because La République and France, they come in our area and cut down those trees, take the timber, the wood, to France and other countries, which is what we could be using to build our own territory. So I answered this question to bring all these things that we've lost over the years. But the most important thing people will remember is that if you're not respected as a human being, if you're not respected and you call names like dogs and cockroaches, setting the grounds for a genocide, because remember those 7 or 8 stages of genocide where there's dehumanization, we are not human beings. They set that ground. If you're not respected, how can you live with the people that do not respect you? Think about a marriage, a husband and a wife. You go into a partnership, and if there's that respect doesn't exist, sooner or later, that union will sever. So why should it be different from La République du Cameroun and Southern Cameroons? And the good thing is that there was no treaty of union signed. So why don't we just go our separate ways? So our people, and the thing that has really gotten me excited over the years, when I think about September 22nd, think about it. How did our people know to come out from every village, every town at the same time in the diaspora? I mean, how did we plan this? And there's a story behind this. I think somebody has to tell the story someday. But this happened 7 years ago. This happened on a Sunday 7 years ago. See, we are coming back 7 years to talk about what happened. And there was a picture of even a dog with peace plant, grandma bending and walking with a cane with peace plants. And this is happening all over our territory. That means that the people had enough is enough. And some of these people were young people also, who did not really know the history of how we used to be a great nation. When we're West Cameroon, we used to be a people to reckon with. So back using the words of Dag Hammarjack, that when you force a balloon under the sea, one day that balloon will come out. Southern Cameroonians came out on September 22nd, and we're commemorating that day today, because it will be a day that will be in our history until we are able to freely exist in our land without any intervention from anyone. Thank you so much.
Wow. Excuse me. Wow. Thank you so much for, bringing our minds to where we were, how the things have evolved. And it's just to add, what you just said is adding more substance to what Dr. Winnie Lobati earlier said. we have been a great people. They have to consistently and in different methods and ways dehumanize our people, treat them like animals, to be able to colonize and take over the riches and wealth of our land. And there are various schemes that have been used over the years, that which um, by our people of Ambazonia realize and have continuously fought against all these evil methods towards us as a people by French Cameroon, or La République du Cameroon. And this is the moment for us to reflect on our country and our identity, and for us to be able to understand that we are not just commemorating this day because it was a day to commemorate. There have been series of events, and that has been discussed on ABC in several different programs, especially on the horizon, from the history, from the periods between 1954 and 1961, where we were an independent nation, and the period between 1961 and 1972, before the fake unity referendum, and 1972 till 2016, when the teachers and lawyers, we've had all this discussion. And the 22nd of September is also another day, like Mape just said, that the balloon has come out, did come out of the sea, of the water, and we are standing for our total liberation and freedom. And Mawini are hoping you can hear me. So Mawini, coupled with what you understand have been the series of events in our freedom quest from the day our former leaders realized that La République have been scheming, La République and France have been scheming to take over our territory because of its riches, and to dehumanize, or I mean, they have tried to, like Pobia said, assimilate our people into, to francophonize our people, for us to lose our identity and who we are, and dehumanize anybody who doesn't want to be francophonized, to take over our territory and our riches. And this has been going on for almost 70 years. And when this 22nd of September 2017 events happened, where our people came out in their numbers, in villages, in cities, and in towns, including animals, even our mamas who could barely walk, even little babies, were also out and about with their own plants. And La Republique, saw this and came with helicopters, killing our people from, shooting our people from the sky. Still on the significance of this day. What more would you like to add?
The one thing that you can realize is that the God-given freedoms for every human being and their rights cannot really be taken. Even if you do suppress it, they know that something is wrong. And at some point they will fight. They may resist. You may suppress, intimidate, and do everything you can, torture, but most often the spirit of the human being is strong enough to rise up again. God created us that way, with hope. The challenge that we had, why it took us so long, was the fact that, if you remember, going to school, secondary school, in back in Ambazonia, we were never taught Cameroon history, whether it's La République or the one of Ambazonia. We were never taught. What we were taught was European history. We learned all this European history, starting with all the Franco-Prussian War and all whatnot, and it really did not allow us to understand and know who we are. And that was purposefully done so as to shield and hide our identity. Coupled with the fact that when we maybe we even learn a little bit of world history, that was another thing. But European history was the dominant history that we studied. But then coupled with the fact that we found ourselves in this relationship, like I always go back to what Pamola Jolly to make always said, Jumba married, come we stay, and then Jumba married the waka. Coupled with that, if you look at it, our most of our let me say our older sisters and our parents, because they had the Anglo-Saxon British education system, most of them when they were writing GCE, their GCE was graded in London. And then by the time it came around to us, it was being graded now in Cameroon locally. Those were the last ties that we had with the British that were severed. However, when it came time to go beyond the advanced level, the education system was so set up that we were we were disadvantaged. You went to Yaoundé unless you were reading English letters, your lectures would be completely in French, language that you did not master unless you went to a bilingual school. And most of the bilingual schools, where were they put? In the Ambazonia region. Maybe one or two in Douala or in Yaoundé and maybe in Douala, because as soon as they shut down our government, they transfer everything under the pretext that it was expensive to run two governments, federal government. So Haijo used that pretext to transfer all the headquarters of Ambazonia to Yaoundé and pull the civil servants that mattered to go to Yaoundé. That was also a big and difficult transitional phase for most of our parents, because they had to struggle to find schools that their kids could go and maintain their Anglo-Saxons. And thank God that we had these dormitories that our those alma maters that most of us know that our they could send back their kids back for secondary school education. But it did not help us, because when we went to the university, then the main university was Yaoundé, and Ngaoundéré. Chang was actually a school of agriculture, and Ngaoundéré was something I've forgotten what it was. Then Yaoundé was the only university that really encompassed all the faculties that people could study, and there was something pretended to be in Douala. So when our people went there, they struggled. They were not given even the opportunity to do language. Like I hear is happening in Boya, when they pull the francophones to come and are admitted in the Boya University, they actually do give them English as a second language to study, so that by the time they get into classes, they can understand and thrive in the university. So you can see that discrimination. It never really happened for us. Thank God that some of this were the glaring things that were making and keeping that separation alive. We would look at even the by juror system that we had, the common law and the civil law. Those were the things that always made it. And most of us may have just thought, oh, it's because of the fact that we were under British and they were under or under France. But if we go back to why were we even first of all split? Why was there a division? And is La République de Cameroon the old and Ambazonia the only parts of the German Cameroon that was forfeited after Germany was defeated in World War One? No, part of the German Cameroon is in Central African Republic. Part of it is, I think, in I don't know if it's Gabon. Part of it is in Nigeria. Part of it is in Chad. So why is it that we were that unique that France wanted us, La République wanted us, and they wanted to assimilate us. The natural resources that we had in our territory. By the 1950s, they already knew we had oil. They already knew Nigeria had oil. That's what, when you had the civil war, the Biafra war in Nigeria, was because of the oil. And they already knew. So all this was being played. The lie, there was a big lie that we were not going to be able to thrive and survive, while Ambazonia was providing over maybe 70% of the budget that ran northern Cameroons and southern Cameroons under the British territory. So that was another big lie. We had the plantations, the CDC, the farmers, so many other things that had been put in place. And our education system, the churches, we had so many things that supported us to thrive and to grow. But when La République stepped in, France already had their fingers and they were already playing the chess board how they would do this. Let me tell you, it was by no coincidence that 1972 was used as a day for so-called referendum for us to go, for our parents to go vote. It was by no coincidence 1984 was used also as a date, and also done in Bamenda, that Cameroon seceded from the Union. It was no coincidence. So let me put it, all La République du Cameroon and France know is brutality. I was in Bamenda when SDF was launched, and 6 people were killed, and they lied about it. So there is a lot that has happened. But the one good thing about the human spirit is we crave our freedom, the rights that God has given us. And so when with the information of using the internet, it's interesting that most of these pictures that we had, with internet having been shut down, do you know that most of our people were able to take these images on the phone? And do you know what many of them did? They crossed over to La République where internet was not shut down and were able to send some of these images out to the international community. At that point in time, what we mainly had was the WhatsApps and other things. We did not have a network like we have ABC today that we could have broadcasted, because even by the time the SCBC was coming and then the ABC, Facebook, and all whatnot, these were how some of this information was fed into the system for the international community. If you can remember, when Mr. Former President Donald Trump went to the United Nations in I don't know what it was, 2017 or 2018, he mentioned how some dictators were shutting down and shutting off internet in their countries. It was us he was talking about. And then La République knew that they were in. Remember, there was a journalist that used to was in the Secretary General of the United Nations, always asking about the genocide going on in Amazonia and the killings that were there, arbitrary arrest, just asking those questions, and he was thrown out of the core press, so he could no longer enter the United Nations. So this is a well calculated effort. There are so many people's hands that are dripping with blood from the United Nations to many of these countries. Their hands are dripping with the blood of the people of Ambazonia. One, for either not acting or not saying the truth or pretending because they want to have some contract with La République, signing some contract to explore and extract natural resources from Ambazonia. So I'm sorry, this is what it's all about. It is interest. It is about the interests of special groups, special people. And so we have come against a real strong, let me say, war, and the war gets higher because La République. How many people went to Yaoundé and came out with golden statues when the things were at its peak? How many dignitaries, international dignitaries entered Yaoundé, came out with golden statues as a gift to shut their mouths up? So, but the people of Ambazonia said, it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what Mr. Bia said, even trying to let the people, the world know that, yeah, we tried to assimilate them, but it didn't work. Yes, it wouldn't work because you are not in the right. Because what you were doing is illegal, it's against the human nation, it's against our civil rights, it's against our political rights, it's against the nation and the people of Southern Cameroons. Let me use that name because that's the name we are known and recognized within the international community and the United Nations. Some people say, forget your history. If you don't know your history, you will not know who you are and where you are going. We have to know our history. It is our history that has been able to resurrect our people and bring them to where they are. And today we can fight. And today we can stand tall. Today we can talk. If you look, many La République people could not even talk. Who were the people that pushed for having what they call today multipartyism in La République? It was at the blood of the people of Ambazonia when they launched SDF, when they refused, and then eventually they say, "Oh no, La République it's a perpetual lying government. Oh no, we did not stop multipartyism, but you shot people. Oh no, we didn't do this. We are not stifling people. They are terrorists." How can people be terrorists when they know who they are and their sovereignty is being denied and you occupy their territory? Who is the terrorist? The blood of so many of our young people, all mothers, all fathers, has been spilled. But let me tell you, every one of those people, when they sleep at night, they are tormented because they know that their hands are dripping with blood. The international community might make and play like they don't know. Let me tell you what happened in Germany during World War II. They said, I think it was Bonhoeffer. He said, if you stay quiet in the midst of wickedness, your silence means you are complacent and you are a
Yeah,
party to that
absolutely.
to that evil. So anybody who knows the truth and plays the game because you say you have treaties with La République du Cameroon and you allow lives to be slaughtered, people to be put in dungeons. And you remember when we had some Ambazonians using a little bit of candle and light and they were talking. And you know, most of all those people that were locked on the ground in underground bunkers are dead. Can the international community call La République to order and say, present to us all these people who read their names and they made that video out there saying that they were in an underground bunker? Can they, since they don't want to investigate? It's all because
And
of greed and people just want to get something from La République for nothing. I'm sorry.
and that is why we must fight till the last man standing, because given the events and how La Republic have treated our people over time and in even till today, is a reason why we cannot and we should never give up on our freedom quest. Ma Emma, I will come to you. You know, that day a lot of things happened. Our people came out in their numbers, and we, you know, what has, you know, the events of the 2nd of September in 2017, so many things happen. Can you, you know, talk on any of these incidents or things that happened on that day and the impact it has had on our people? and our freedom quest.
Thank you, Lady Casey. To be honest, when this was happening in 2017, I wasn't even aware. I was totally clueless, like everybody else out of Cameroon. You know, I joined this struggle in 2019 when somebody sent me the images of our women, our people running into the bushes, trekking for miles to look for safe places where they could hide, because at that time the villages were being burnt and people were being shot and thrown into mass graves. So you know, there's but you see, God has a time. There's a time for everything. 2017 was the time that Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia, and I will not, I do not apologize for calling us Ambazonians, because it is part of our freedom fight to be called what we want to be called. I know in the records we are Southern Cameroons, but if we decide that we want to be called Ambazonians, so be it. But I'm going to use the two names. So you see, 2017 was the time that Southern Cameroons decided that enough is enough. And we say that we are the never again generation, but you see that this struggle cuts against across all ages. Now, I know that the young people who did not live in our time at the beginning of from 1966 61, when all this started, they do not really miss what we had, and it has been very difficult to convince them to meet us at where we are, but they have looked at everything, their own experiences, and they've realized that there's something wrong with this picture. There's something wrong with the way things are looking. How can they be in a class in southern Cameroons, and they are sending French francophone French teachers to come and teach them physics, to come and teach them chemistry or biology, when they have English as the background? First of all, you have to know all those the numbers and everything. Then you start translating it into French to understand. So they have lived the experiences, and even though they are young, they have been able with the internet. And thank you for internet, really. Internet might have a lot of problems, a lot of criticisms, but if it wasn't for internet, I don't think we would be where we are today. And we thank God, because the whole world now, Ambazonia is a household a word. Another thing that I need to stress, you see, La République knows that there are certain things that is so attractive from the southern Cameroons, that they have to hang on to us. And France knows also, because they told them in 1961, don't let these people go. This is, don't let them go, assimilate them. So that was when it started. One of the main things is the spirit of the Southern Cameroonian and the intelligence. Let me tell you, even in families, there are some children that are more intelligent than others. Even if they are from the same womb, I can say categorically that Southern Cameroonians are more intelligent than the French speaking people, because even with all these images that have come out, they still cannot believe, and they still cannot even criticize their president and the actions of their government. So you can see the difference. That 22nd of September, as Mape was saying, nobody went into the villages asking people to come and march. It was a spontaneous thing. It was an intelligent thing. It was like an awakening. That's another reason why we say that this is a God ordained revolution, because I mean it is a spiritual thing. It is, because if that day 22nd of September succeeded, and it came out so strong without planning, you can imagine why La République decided to say that we have to eliminate these people, because for as long as people live in the southern Cameroons, as long as Ambazonians survive, they are going to be a threat to La République. The only solution is going to be separation. Then we can now negotiate and live as neighbors, because one, they cannot compete with the intelligence of Southern Cameroons. I am not only saying this, but if you look at it, analyze everything. Look at our structures before the actual takeover. We had Ombe Technical College, and that college brought out engineers. They did not call them engineers, but they were trained to perform as civil engineers, mechanical engineers, structural engineers. And a lot of our professionals graduated from that Ombe Technical College. The other thing is Police College Mutengene, the way it was set up. It trained our mobile wing, and they were efficient. You can go back and look at the history. You can go back and look at their performances at that time. You see, and now La République came. They just bring in their people. They don't test them. They dump them in the police college for training, but they cannot even cope. They cannot cope with that kind of training. They come out half-baked. We also had teacher training colleges, which trained our teachers exactly how to teach our children and how to handle curriculum. These are
Emma,
the things. Yeah,
I want to say
you know,
something before you continue. I beg
yes,
permit me to say
please.
something before you continue.
Yes,
Emma, just
yes,
continue.
yes.
Keep what you want to say. Let me say this. I want to interject here now because I think it's not because they are not smart. I think it's a culture of people that do not work hard. They believe in bribery and corruption. They want things the easy way. We were trained by the British, who were stern and strict and believe in truth. You know, the Frenchman is not like that. We have a merit-based system where you work hard and you climb the rungs of the ladder to go to the top. But that's not what is in their DNA. So if they were
That is
so that's that. I just want to bring that up before you continue, because they up till today, I want to just say that my brother visited with me recently and said that he's in a job where somebody will just come and tell me, can I just give you money and you get me this level? So they believe in paying their way up. So that's why they will not ever learn. They cannot be as intelligent as us in the sense that they don't work hard. It's not a merit-based
exactly,
system. I'm sorry I interrupted. Go
exactly.
ahead.
No, it is true. It just goes with what I am saying. You see, it is from the top to the bottom, all across their society. And as you say, it is now in their DNA. Look at just look at the statistics in say in America, in Britain, in even in France. Look at the professionals. You see the performance of Ambazonians, of Southern Cameroonians. I do not want to mention some names here, but the pouch, which is a surgery for weight control, was invented by an Ambazonian right here in California.
Yep.
He's the person who invented that, and it is being used all over the country. You know, I am only giving you this as this is just one example. You know, okay, Franco, what are francophones doing wherever they are, wherever they find themselves? And you see, the balance it is not balanced. Now we say we are going to be separated. What are we losing from separating from La République? Zero.
Nothing.
What are they losing? 100%
Everything.
of everything. 100% of everything. My father, who was the postmaster, and he set up most of the post offices in Ambazonia, was taken during the union. He was sent to Yaoundé. He went to Yaoundé to set up. Why would they need an anglophone to come and set up there? And they had independence before us, so their background is so different from us. And look, Ambazonians have to wake up. We are not losing anything to be in control of our own resources. That is the way it needs to be. Now we are going to shine, and they will see what they are. Actually, they know what they are missing. So I thought I should bring that part, that there's something wrong in this picture. The DNA is different, and we are the ones losing. They have killed us, but our spirit they cannot kill. The spirit of Ambazonia, is there. It lives on, and it is going to help us survive. They cannot not wipe Ambazonia from the face of this earth. We are here to stay, and we just need to do the right thing. Join hands and separate. Then we negotiate. Thank you, Mape.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you very much. And I just on that note, I just want to say that this is why on the 22nd, when our former president of the interim government made the announcement for everybody to come out both home and abroad, and people in their masses, including animals, came out to stand for the identity, for the culture, for the mindset, for the status of people of Southern Cameroons. They came out in that number because we have understood the differences. We have lived with these people for 60 years. We already know now that we are different. We have all come to the understanding and knowledge that there is absolutely no way we can cohabit with these people. We can function with these people and then live to our full potentials, because they have proven over time to be brutal, reckless, careless, disorganized, corrupt, evil, wicked. I mean, all the negative adjectives to describe a group of people or an individual. They have been everything bad that you can imagine over this period of time. And they understand that. They know our organized, we have society, our society was well structured. Well, that's why their first move, as soon as we agreed to federate with them, was to destroy all our economic, social, and political structures and systems that were in place, that were working and serving our people from top to bottom, from bottom to top. And there was no one that was being left out in Southern Cameroon, in Ambazonia, at the time when we were self govern ourselves, and they are aware of that. The problem, and one of the things I want to highlight in all we have discussed so far, is the fact that most of the people of Ambazonia, which is what Ma Endeley concluded with, don't understand this part of themselves. A lot of them, their enemies know them more than they know themselves. And that is why they are complicit with La Republic atrocities in our territory. And that's why they are not outraged enough. And that's why they are not angry enough. That's why they are not coming out enough. They are not staying the course enough, because they don't know themselves as much as the enemy, La République du Cameroon, do know about them. They don't know the potentials, they don't know the riches, they don't know their identity, they don't know their quality about themselves. They lack that self-awareness, either as an individual and as a people of Ambazonia. And that's why they are complacent. They have become blacklegs. They have become spies for La République du Cameroon for change. They are acting as if na that one a thing. That is exactly why they have, because they don't know this, they have become the relaxed. That's why we have people like Moja Moja, Gala Gerald, all those canker worms that we've had in our territory, because they lack the self-awareness and the understanding of who they are, of who an Ambazonian or a Southern Cameroonian is. And they've allowed the enemy who fully understand, and because of that understanding, they have done all the schemes from the beginning to take over our minds. Because to assimilate a people, you have to indoctrinate them, you have to condition their mind. And so they tried to assimilate, it did not work, and they have done that by force, by social, they have promoted francophonization of our people. Because if from social activities and events, they have tried to do everything, celebrated Bikuti and Duala music. Those are the things that have been allowed to thrive or trend in our territory. They have tried to use politics, make our people see Yaoundé as the heavens, as the ultimate. They have corrupt our education. They've grabbed every aspect of our
Everything,
society, every aspect of
everything.
our society, plus our chiefs. Is some of them now, especially in the Atlantic, and some regions, are now being appointed from Yaoundé. For our culture, our traditions are now being influenced by Yaoundé. That's how they have put all these schemes, because they know who they are, they know who we are. And our people, our chiefs, from our chiefs to some individuals on the streets of Ambazonia and abroad, refuse to understand who they are. And La Republic is taking full advantage to continuously keep our people in bondage. So that is just what I needed to add to what Ma Endeley is talking about. And this is why we'll have conversations like this to remind ourselves that there was a moment that we were conscious of who we are, of our identity, and we came out in masses. And this is the level we need to maintain until our total liberation. So I will come back to you, Mape, and I will want to discuss, move forward to what has been the impact of this day, the 22nd of September 2017, where our people came out in masses. We've talked about the significance, and touched some of the impact. But over time, we are 7 years in, since that day. What has that day triggered into these past 7 years? What impact has it had in the past 7 years of our liberation fight? Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for that question. To answer that, we have to look back a little bit in our history. We know that we were a government at one time. We had even two governments, the government of Endeley and the government of Fonche, in the late 50s and early 60s, just before our fake reunion with La République du Cameroun on January 1st, on October 1st, 1961. The significance of September 22nd, I will break it down as such. It was a day that we restored our statehood. We restored what we had before. That's why I brought that little history back. Because we had been somewhere. We knew what it was. And mind you that when the teachers and lawyers went on a strike in September and October of 2016, they were just asking for some basic rights that any people would want. Basic rights. But what happened? La République did not even listen to us. Biya did not even listen to us. And then in December of that same year, December 2016, the clergy, this is the Bamenda Provincial Episcopal Conference took place, and a memorandum was sent to Paul Biya, the president of La République du Cameroun, listing all the grievances. Listen what has happened in Southern Cameroon for over the past how many years, that there's supposed to be some basic changes made. But what happened? La République du Cameroun, the president ignored the word of the clergy people. So that's September 22nd, 2017. Seseko Ayuk Tabe in New York restored the statehood of the former British Southern Cameroons, of West Cameroon. Now, the significance of this is that we restored our identity. We restored our humanity. We restored our dignity. We restored our territorial boundary. In summary, we restored our statehood. Fast forward till today, 2024. What has happened? We've had a government, the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, working hard to seek out international recognition. And mind you that our people are behind us. There is this support of this restoration that has now changed to a government in the form of a country Sunday that is recognized every single week. Our people know the difference of what they want and what they don't want. For the past 7 years, President Sako and the government and all the leaders in the different arms of the government, the judiciary arm, the legislative arm, the chairs of the different counties and LGAs, the directors of every institution we have are working hard to make sure that what happened in September 2017 and October 1st, 2017 will eventually lead to us having full and complete control of our territory, because only then can we shine as a people. Can we be able to liberate all the talent that we have to make that place a bright place for future generations to come. Because in the current context of having La République and us intertwined, there will never be peace in either land. Hopefully, as these 7 years have gone by, the La République and the international community have seen the resolve we have, that once a people know the difference between freedom and in slavery, once the people know the difference between pain, death, and life, they will fight for the light. And that's what we are today, fighting for the light for our people. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much, Mape. And yes, we would continue fighting until we can live in peace, in dignity, and in our true full potential. Thank you very much. And I would just like our technician to bring up this video. You know, after the 22nd, when we came out protesting, our people with peace plans, and La Republique started their brutality, shooting our people with helicopter from the sky who had peace plan, and they were just singing songs of victory. Several La Republique, personalities were promoting genocide on Ambazonians on different media platforms. And we just like to remind ourselves of some of these things that were said so we know the enemy. We remind ourselves of the enemy because a lot of you have forgotten. That's why most of you Ambazonians, when I say you, I refer to every descendants of Southern Cameroon, have forgotten the enemy that is La République du Cameroun.
Que le gouvernement arrête de jouer au malin avec ces gens. Et il n'y a aucun pays au monde où on joue avec des terroristes. Les gens qui bavardent là sur Facebook, parfait ici. Kabylie, c'est en Algérie, non? Et devant l'indépendance, non? On ne tue pas les gens là-bas, on tue. Quand il s'agit de rétablir l'ordre et que vous êtes considéré comme un terroriste, on vous tue. La Casamance, c'est au Sénégal. Est-ce qu'ils ne réclament pas l'indépendance? La Corse, ce n'est pas au Cameroun, c'est bien en France. Les Catalans ne réclament pas l'indépendance. Est-ce qu'il n'y a pas eu la guerre de sécession aux États-Unis? Mais que les gens arrêtent, que le gouvernement mette en place des mesures répressives fortes. Si les gens font des marches comme celle qui se passe en ce moment, on les laisse. Qu'est-ce qu'on va faire contre une maman qui marche avec ses arbres en main? Non, on la laisse marcher pacifiquement puisqu'elle a 4 personnes pour le moment. Mais je suggère au gouvernement, de mettre l'état d'urgence dans toute la partie anglophone du Cameroun. État d'urgence. À 19h, tout le monde est chez lui.
C'est à 18h qu'il commence la fête à Bamenda.
J'ai dit qu'on mette l'état d'urgence dans toute la partie anglophone du Cameroun. À partir de 19h, on ferme tous les bars. Et l'état d'urgence en question a un préalable, c'est qu'il y ait des rafles dans toute la partie anglophone du Cameroun. Même les maisons des ministres ont été visitées. Pourquoi? Parce que ici, est-ce que tu vois la symphonie, l'harmonisation? On dit qu'il y a un marche à Kumba, il y a un marche à Mouyouka, il y a un marche à Limbe. Ça veut dire qu'il y a un travail de préparation qui a été fait. Non. Nous sommes tous Camerounais. Pour le moment, on peut être content parce que je vois les anglophones, même chez nous ici, qui sont contents que non, c'est bien, c'est bien, c'est bien. Mais quand on placera une bombe dans une école qui tuera les anglophones eux-mêmes, et puis cette histoire d'anglophonie, n'a-t-on pas un stagiaire actuellement à Vision 4 qui est de Goumou, qui est au Dex anglophone? Vos enfants ne font-ils pas l'école Le petit Atango sera-t-il anglophone ou francophone? Toutes les filles sont dans les écoles anglophones. Je pense que nous sommes tous d'accord qu'au Cameroun, il y a une sorte, un mépris qui est reconnu. Je reconnais qu'il y a comme une sorte de mépris vis-à-vis des anglophones, mais on ne peut pas résoudre des problèmes en créant d'autres. Ce n'est pas possible. On ne doit plus négocier avec les terroristes. Et j'attends ceux qui prétendent vouloir diriger le Cameroun. Je suis par là, Barcelona. Ceux qui prétendent vouloir diriger le Cameroun. Monsieur Kamto, vous allez diriger un Cameroun qui sera à feu à sang à Bamenda. Monsieur Ndamjoya, tous ces leaders politiques là. Même mon ami Cabral, je veux t'écouter sur les attentats qui ont lieu à Bamenda. Les écoles qui ont été brûlées. On veut vous écouter sur la question. Parce qu'aujourd'hui, ce n'est plus une question de billard, Martial Ouna. Je vois les pancartes, les images que nous avons écrites là. Biya Mosgo. Mais si toute la partie anglophone ne veut plus de M. Biya, il y a une élection qui approche là en 2018.
Il faut chuter.
Doit-on brûler une école pour faire comprendre que Biya Mosgo? Doit-on tuer un policier qui travaille pour la nation? Ce monsieur le policier ne travaille pas pour Biya. Parce que Biya peut ne pas être là en 2018, ce monsieur travaillera peut-être pour votre frère qui sera président. Okay. Excuse-moi. Étant donné qu'aujourd'hui, c'est qu'à Douala n'est pas une ville anglophone, non? Non. Mais on lui dit qu'il y a eu l'explosion à la SCDP. Oui. Et je constate que plusieurs francophones comme Obama reconnaissent qu'il y a un problème anglophone au Cameroun. Et je le redis encore, il y a un problème anglophone. Dieu merci, le président Biya nous a donné raison. Mais j'ai quand même l'impression que tous les anglophones sont d'accord avec ce qui arrive à Bamenda dans les attentats. Ça veut dire que même ici à Yaoundé, les quartiers réputés pour être des quartiers anglophones doivent être surveillés. Ce qui arrive à Douala nous parle. Si à Douala on pose des bombes artisanales, il est fort possible qu'ici à Yaoundé on ait également des situations similaires.
Whew. Anyway, that was very tough reminder. Before I get into the translation of what was said, I have to ask for translation because I have zero French. But if any Ambazonian who understand French, listen to this, and you still think La République du Cameroon or anybody in connection with them is a friend or is a brother, like some of you who call and party with, like I know in the UK, then you have another thing coming. Just in summary of what that idiot was saying. Um,
No, we won't.
Oh, Femi, me laugh.
I mean, that is just lack of better words to the top of my head because I don't even know about media guidelines these days. Just
Yeah.
that good for nothing human. In fact, that animal, what was saying was that the people of Amazonia, they came out to protest, asked to be treated with dignity and respect, asked to allow to live, to be human, to live to their full potentials in their own territory. That good for nothing human said that our people should be killed, that Ambazonia, our territory, is a prized possession of Yaoundé, of the Bulus, that they should slaughter our people, that we have absolutely no right to even protest in our own territory, to ask to be left alone. That was what, and that same person, nothing, was calling on more or less the genocide of the people of Southern Cameroon, and nothing, absolutely nothing, was done to that he good, and absolutely nothing was done. And we saw what La Republic did as a result. And this is why we are talking now about the impact of the first, or of the, so sorry, of the 22nd, yeah, of the 22nd of September 2017 and the 1st of September of October 2017. We saw the brutality that came as a result. He was just expressing the mind of majority, if not all, of La République du Cameroon leadership and most of their people, and 99% of their people. Um, he was just expressing their mindset, their disdain, their hatred, their resentment they have for the people of Ambazonia. Just when, like I was saying, just the moment that the people of Ambazonia express some awareness of who they are, express some knowledge that we are a people, we have our own identity, we have our territory, and we want to live in it in peace and in dignity and respect for one another. And we saw their anger that it provoked in the people of La Republique. And when any Ambazonian is complacent with such atrocities, with such wickedness, with such resentment that French Cameroon, La République du Cameroon have for the people of Ambazonia, it baffles me so much. That's why anybody who is sympathetic or is even is relating to the people to French Cameroon, I cannot relate with that type of person. This, I'm boiling. That video literally provoked the revolutionary spirit in another dimension that hasn't been in a while. So I'll just come to you first, my Endeley. In your reaction to that um video, which was a response to our people coming out on the 22nd of September, and our people also coming out to celebrate our Independence Day on the 1st of October, all in 2017. So, what is your comment? Was that good for nothing human said, and the preceding brutality on our people.
Thank you, Lady Casey. Fortunately or unfortunately, right now I try not to listen anything in French, but I did study French up to university level, and I even went to Frogland, France, for a semester. So I really did understand what he was saying, and I picked out three major things. One, he said, "Do not that they should never negotiate with terrorists." He called us terrorists. Now, I want to say that that is the epitome of ignorance, because what is the crime? What was their crime actually? On September 22nd, the southern Cameroonians who carried peace plans and worked, what was the crime that they committed that ended up them being shot from helicopter gunships and killed, and 60,000 people have been killed since then? What was their crime? These people that they call Amber Boys, what is their crime? What is their crime? Before this time, there was no mass kidnapping as there is now. So now they are just, killing a dog and giving it a bad name. You know, then he actually ordered that they should be killed. That Anglophones should be killed. He said it outright that if they tried to protest, or and even those who are saying Bia must go, that the only thing is to kill them, because either they kill them or they wait for the next elections after 7 years. He said something about that also. And you see, he he was so short. Nothing was mentioned about the president declaring war on his people. And again, I ask, what was their crime? When you declare war against it, therefore it showed that we are not part of them. Because you do not declare war on your own people. So seeing him declare war against southern Cameroon, Ambazonia, already should tell the whole world that we are not the same country. We are not the same country. And when you get people like this talking, and you see the panel, they were agreeing with him and laughing. It was a big joke for them to have Ambazonians killed. That is what I got to that. And I'm so happy that we dug up that video and heard from the horse's mouth, heard from Anglophones what they really think of Ambazonians. That is why there can never be a union. You do not sleep on the same bed with a snake. It will bite you. It's only one thing. It will kill you with the poison. You cannot survive. So there's no other way but total separation. Yeah, that video. Oh my God. Your words, Lady Casey, was very very nice and appropriate. What calling him an idiot was very 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 clean, and there are words I could use, but it's not allowed on television. So I'm going to hand over the microphone back to you.
Thank you very much. Well, first of all, sorry I did not welcome our able Dr. Yaya, who has also joined us on the discussion today. Dr. Yaya, you are highly welcome, and you came at the climax of the conversation we have been talking about the 22nd of September 2017, its significance, impact, and what it means for our revolution in different aspects. And we have discussed the history of how we got there in the first place. And now we have watched this video from this animal talking about Amazonians should be killed because they protest and demand to be treated with dignity and respect in their own territory, in their own God given land. And what are your comments on this? Thank you.
First of all, thank you so much, Lady Casey, for having me on the panel. And I want to greet my very, very well respected ladies, the warrioresses of this revolution, all the mass. We owe you a lot. Thank you for all that you do. In fact, listening to you all, I just think if this is just a snapshot of what Ambazonia is, what a beautiful country. What a country full of strong, intelligent, beautiful women, women with brains and substance. So I'm so grateful and humbled at the same time to be sitting on the same panel with such beautiful ladies with big brains. Anyway, coming back to your question, I was just bluffed listening to the man. I couldn't really follow him up because I have some kind of selective understanding of French. Strangely enough, it used to be one of my subjects that I excelled in, but somehow I don't understand it anymore. But anyway, thank you, Emma, for breaking it down. What was your question again, by the way? What do I think about him? I see. Okay. One,
Yes,
he's the
my question
typical.
was
Yeah.
that our people came out on the 22nd of September 2017, singing songs of freedom and of
Yeah.
victory with their
Not that.
peace flag. And this was a La République du Cameroon animal response to our people requesting to
Okay.
live in.
To that. Well, he just listening to a few comments, he just culminates what the typical francophone is. When I say the typical, I'm not saying every francophone is like that, but what I could hear was ignorance plus arrogance and brutality and lack of human compassion. All of these, I think,
Yes.
words to actually describe our brutal neighbors who are so inhumane to sit and genocide being what do you say practiced on a people for simply expressing their human rights. So to me, he's a complete ignoramus. I'm not sure he's wearing a uniform, whether he's a military man or he's a government official of La Republique. But to me, they have no idea about governance, about civil rights, because how on earth or where on earth does it stipulate that when people protest peacefully, you give them a name called terrorist? Where are the terrorists? We're talking about babies, we're talking about dogs, we are talking about youth, we are talking about adolescents, we are talking about grandmothers. So who looks like a terrorist here? They're working with peace plans. So to me, this is just what La Republique is known for: bullying, intimidation, brutality, use of force, and inhumanity. It is simply stupid. I mean, it's complete stupidity. In the case I usually talk too much, I stop there.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You made us, it's this is what I'm sure Dr. Winnie Lobati, you have a lot because your tone was already, you understand these things, you already touched on some aspect of this wickedness, this core resentment. And it would, like Dr. Yaya said, this is the position of major. I said 99%. I'm only just, being, but I know what's my mind of La
Yeah.
République du Cameroonian. That is their position. And that is how they have been complacent with the brutality and the killings of the people of Southern Cameroon for the past 7 years. They have been complacent because that is their position. We have seen how they have aided, they have kept quiet. We have seen how um, they have come into our territory, taking over. Now the University of Boya is now dominated. Our hospitals is now dominated by francophones because they care less whatever happened to the people of Ambazonia. They are, like he said in that video, that they is Ambazonia, the territory is their property, is the property of the
Wow.
Bulus. So they should kill all of us. That's one of the things said. So, Winnie, what is your comment, and what do you want to say to the people of Ambazonia in particular who are complacent about our freedom cause? Given that this is the mindset of majority of people of La Republique du Cameroon.
Thank you again. I'm going to break this into three subheadings. What's the impact of September 22nd, 2017? I will break it in three subheadings and then I will touch on each of those. The first of it was education, and the second was determination, and the third was the fact that our struggle was impersonalized. Let me start with education. More Ambazonians got educated. More Ambazonians now understood the purpose for why they had to come out. More Ambazonians got bolder to step out in spite of the killings. Remember that we had some killings even in 2016 with the teachers and with the massive arrests, but it educated our people. What is the impact of that education on the citizens of La République du Cameroun? Some of them, as ignorant as they are, this guy who was talking, still choose to remain ignorant. But it also educated some of the citizens of La République. That's why you could find the Camto, let me say the Camto group coming out strongly. The Bamilekis now started coming out. They may not be bold to get on the streets like they have done, like we have done, but it allowed them to organize. And that's why they know that their Camto's election was stolen and Camto was put in jail as well. What about the determination? It just brought a resolve in the heart of any genuine Ambazonian that they want their freedom. Even including those of them who are working for the slave master and are privileged servants. If you remember what happened when I think it was the current prime minister or the previous, it may have been Solomon, when they went to Bamenda to go dialogue with the people. And when he got there, it was like the Holy Spirit came upon him. He started speaking the language of the people. This is the time for our own freedom. So that core spirit inside them remains there, no matter how much money La Republique gives them. And they know seated deep in their heart. They may block it, they may push it, but they know in their deepest recesses of their core and their being that they are Ambazonians and their freedom rightly is deserved. And then you come to this determination. Our people have chosen to stand. That's why a Mami could stand in Kumba and tell Ponji Atanga that objection. You could see that. And then when we come to the fact that we internationalize this, it became so internationalized that some of the international community were calling for a dialogue. La République, what did La République do? They decided to create a monologue. What happened as a result of having this internationalization? We had the Swiss-led process, which was a credible process that if we had followed and we had all worked, it would have led to some discussions and delving into the root cause without any preconditions. But what did La République do? They feared that. So they ran and pulled off from the table and decided to call Canada. Because do you know why? Because they know that in Canada, while Canada is predominantly English speaking, they have Quebec, which is a small French province within Canada that they have their own independence. So they were as a special, they have a special status in Quebec. So they were thinking that by running to Canada and let Canada be the one to do the mediate, then they will convince Ambazonians to come and have what Quebec, it will be Ambazonians living like Quebecians. Mind you, you are dealing with a country that really knows democracy, and while you're dealing with one that has no clue about democracy, it's only a show front. And also, when that was not a very credible process that they wanted to follow, it was an indirect. That's why you hear they had the Choayabas there. The people who refused the Swiss-led process went over there, ran over there, and when we stood our grounds, that we didn't see it as a path, as a way of going. Then what did La Republique do? Say, oh, we never sent anybody there. As a government, we never sent anybody. If somebody can send people and then lie and say they didn't, then how can you trust them? And what September 22nd also did was to show the international community, even amongst Francophone countries in Africa, to know that you can stand up to France the bully. And that's why you have the Sahel region today that has broken off from this Francophonie, all kinds of treaties that kept them in slavery by France. You can see, because of our resolve, they are able to say, oh, those small people, Anglophones that they call Anglophones in Cameroon, if they can stand against France, they can resist La République de Cameroon and resist France and be able, then we can push out France. And that's what has happened. So there is something that we can see, that the impact of September 22nd, 2017 is living across not just Ambazonia, but Africa and the international community. Oh, one more thing. The economy of La République is suffering. It's suffering really, because our country Sundays are maintained. Nothing they can do about that. Since our country Sundays were put in the time of the consortium, when the consortium was still in place and they put country Sunday, we have maintained that country Sunday, and our purpose is country Sunday will remain till we get to Boya.
Wow, thank you. Thank you very much. And that was a very, very succinct breakdown of the impact of the 22nd of September 2017. And looking at everything that has happened, there is no person, no individual, including Atanganji, Philemon Yang, who cannot say that just being somebody from southern Cameroon, you are not being disrespected, disregarded by La République du Cameroun or by Francophone Cameroons. Absolutely no person from South Cameroon who can refuse that they have not experienced one way or the other disrespect, disregard, disdain, dehumanization from from Larry, either it's somebody from La Republic to Cameroon or La Republic to Cameroon government in general. So which is why I use 99% that's their mindset very loosely. Um, very, very loosely. So this is the reality of Southern Cameroon. And like Ma Endeley concluded, our only option is total liberation, total independence from La Republic to Cameroon, because we can no longer, we have experimented for 60 years, 61 years, and we know with consistent proof and evidence that they have no respect and no regard for our people. And Mate, I would come to you next to throw your own more light on the impact and what you can share with our people regarding the 22nd of September 2017, coupled with the video reaction from La République du Cameroon animal, and what our people should bear in mind. Thank you.
Yes, let me start by reacting to the video that we saw. I think the best way to really interpret that video is for everyone to think about the 10 stages of genocide by Gregory Stanton. If you think about the 10 stages of genocide, then you get to understand why people like that will make such a suggestion so boldly on the air without fear of being arrested, without fear of being criticized by the government. So, looking at that, the 7 stages, the first one is classification. Classification, we Southern Cameroonians have been classified because they already know that we had a unique origin. We are an output of the trust territory we belong to, which was the British trust territory. And so our education, our political background is really because we had the Germans and the British mostly as those who, I hate to use the word, colonized us. Then we talk about the next step, symbolization. What is the symbol for us as a people? They already have us as the no-so people, Northwest, Southwest people. And then the next step is discrimination. So when you already have a class of people that you've already classified and have a symbol for them, then you have the soup, you have the ingredients ready to discriminate against those people. And this guy already knows that if we have, as a people, are doing something that they can easily attack us, in this case, they call us terrorists, then so be it. Because if the common Frenchman sees us as terrorists, so now they have the right, they will think that let's get rid of those terrorists. It will not be anything to question them about because that's what they believe in. You know, if you believe that there's a snake crossing your lawn and you're able to kill that snake, you believe it's a snake, then you do it with confidence because you think you are in the right. So the next stage is dehumanization. How have we been dehumanized? Over the years, we know we've been called Anglophiles, dogs, cockroaches. And so we are not their equals. Then the next step is organization. They have in their culture where the military will be organized in such a way to target only our people. It means that there's some sort of plan in action. Because mind you, there was a situation in Sako where, and this was in the either 2021 or 2020, where La République went into a region and targeted some Southern Cameroonians. But because there was a Francophone amongst them, they let that French child leave and killed the Southern Cameroonians. So there's an organization in place to be able to carry out these atrocities. The next step is polarization. So it's we against them. So think about the common Bulu person. They don't care about Southern Cameroonians. They are the kings, the queens, those who are on top, and we are on the bottom. We are beneath them. So that polarization exists so that they have the grounds to continue their extermination. So there's preparation for this genocide. When Paul Biya declared war on us in November 2017, because of our resolve, when we came out in mass on September 22nd and October 1st, they saw a people that were really, that had revolted against what they saw before as a corrupt system. You know, they felt that this government did not represent them in any way, so that La République then had to prepare to get rid of people that are standing for their right. And the next step is persecution, where we, considered as the Noso people, are now being persecuted. And then this step that we never dreamt of happening in our land is extermination. And over the past 7 years, we've lost more than 60,000 people in this planned activity of La République to kill our people systematically, knowing that the international community is blind in the sense that no real action is taking place. Of course, they will complain, they will make statements that there should be peaceful resolution to the problem, but nothing concrete has happened. So this video, in essence, is reminding us that these people do not care for us, Southern Cameroonians. Those of us that are saying that one thing forget to realize that they are part of that one thing, because the guy who spoke in this video will not discriminate whether you are somebody who supports La République du Cameroon or supports the right of self-determination, the right to have your own land. This person will not know the difference between you and I, who is on television trying to tell the world that we want to restore our land, or we've restored our land, but we want to be able to gain access to that land and be able to freely govern our territory for the benefit of our people. So people like this, in essence, is why we are here today. Because this culture that they have so blatantly put on television will not go away. This is the spirit of most of them, but some of them are bold enough to say it on television. Others just say it in themselves, and that's why they will not come out when atrocities are carried out, because that's what they believe in. That's their belief. So that's really what I have to say about this video. Going back to the significance of September 22nd, Ma Winnie touched on the core aspects of education. See, the young people that were out on that day on the streets, we saw a lot of young people that were in they're less than 10 years old and less than 20 years old and even less than 30 years old. These individuals really do not know what Southern Cameroonians Ambazonia used to look like in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and even the 90s. They do not know. So they are just going by faith that something's happening. There's an uprising, something's happening. Let's join. They may know that they don't have opportunities to go to school, but they don't even know how to compare, because those of us who went to great schools know what we experience. So we know right from wrong. We know the left hand from the right hand. We can compare and contrast and know what our people are missing. So this impact of September 22nd is the fight for freedom, the fight for dignity, and like I said earlier, to restore what any people would want, any parent would want for their children, the freedom to be what they are, what they can be, the best that they can be. The best that they can be. That is that opportunity we want to give our children in Southern
Thank
Cameroon's
you.
Ambazonia. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mate. Thank you very much for highlighting that's one of the catalysts or stages of genocide, and we have seen that occur throughout. So, as we round up the conversation for today, the women program, the Horizon every Friday, always bring on different angles and different aspects of our conflict, of the war against the people of Ambazonia. And it's always important to join so you are aware. So you will fight your cause with knowledge and awareness. And like Mate highlighted, and I also mentioned earlier, whether you are working with La Republique, for La Republique, and or you are part of the freedom cause, or you're part of the Amazonian freedom fighters, you are targeted by La République du Cameroon, including their citizens. So you will never be respected or regarded by any way as long as the Ambazonia or the blood of Southern Cameroon runs in your veins. So it is you to know and choose that it doesn't matter whether that one a thing or it is our thing. The impact and the effect is for all of us. So as we round up the program today, I'll come to you first, Mawini, to summarize and give your final word as we commemorate the 22nd, or as we round up this ABC program on the commemoration of the 22nd of September 2017. Thank you.
Thank you. My dear sisters with whom I am, that we've been able to talk on a variety of things touching to September 22nd. And to the viewers at home, I know for some of you it's a day of mourning because your loved ones were um, summarily executed for
Mhm.
just demonstrating and marching peacefully. While it it is a sad day for some, for us as a nation, but it's also it's a coin with two sides. One side is the side of the joy that we could restore our declare the restoration of our sovereignty. And the other side is the fact that it was a bitter face because many of our people were massacred that should not have been. So I want us to know that as it's a mixture of emotions and things as we celebrate, that your loved ones that perish on that day will never be forgotten. They've gone into the histories of Amazonia and they will continue to be in that history because that day will never be blotted out of our history. It will always remain and stand in our history as one of the bloodiest days in Amazonia, where people peacefully demonstrating with green plants and peace plants were decimated from above and from the ground. Helicopters overhead, and it happened across the whole nation of Amazonia because from all the hinterlands all the way to the big cities, we had this. It was a big day of celebration. Yes, we mourned, but we accomplished something. And that thing was for the good of the entire nation. Um, the other thing I want to remind us and to encourage us is that we should stay engaged. While it may still seem like the road to freedom is difficult, it is, yes, it is difficult because no slave master ever wants to let the slave go unless you have a stronger hand that comes over and yanks off the hand of that slave master over the neck of the people they are oppressing. Then their victim can escape. There will be a day, believe it. South Africa fought and resisted the apartheid regime for decades, but finally South Africa is free. South Sudan was oppressed, and they were oppressed for several decades. And today, South Sudan is a nation, no matter what problems they may have within their South Sudan, but they are a nation of their own. Somaliland, that had its independence but chose to join Somalia, had when they realized that they had a short end of the stick, they started resisting. And they today, because of the flips and the mishaps of how Somalia behaved, Somaliland was able to separate itself from Somaliland was able to separate itself from Somalia. Even though it seems like they don't have international recognition, but they have development. They didn't have hospitals, they now have hospitals. They didn't have universities, they now have universities. So what I'm encouraging is it may take different phases before we finally get to see our total sovereignhood and sovereignty, and us taking total control of our territory. Let's not give up hope. Let's remain engaged. Let us know that it is not some people's thing, it is all our thing. We either perish separately or we win together. We either perish separately and be decimated separately, or we work together and we overcome together. I know it will not be too long, but it doesn't matter. Even if it tarries, it will definitely come to fruition that we will find ourselves in Boya, having our territory, now renegotiating how we want to run our nation, put our structures in place and operational on the ground and not in diaspora, because we are struggling now to have a government that is in exile. This government will move on the ground and it will no longer be a government in exile. I want to reassure you guys of this. Yes. And in the world that is kind of winking their eyes and pretending like they don't know what is happening, at that time they will come begging. Many of them will come trying to get contracts, trying to get treaties with us. So the sunshine is ahead. The clouds may be over us today, but sunshine is going to break. It may look like it's midnight, but guess what? After midnight, the day, all you can just get to is daylight. It cannot stay midnight forever. Thank you for watching this special program on September 22nd, as we commemorate what happened on the 22nd in 2017 and what has been happening in our struggle. I want to thank you all listeners.
Wow, thank you very much, Winnie. And that is the voice of the Amber woman, staying the course. And that's just the summary of what it means to stay the course. Thank you very much. And I'll come to you, our able director of ABC Amba TV, as we round up for today. Your final words to our people as we, the women of Ambazonia, are showing examples of what it means and are explaining and articulating with such excellence what it means to stay the course. Over to you, Ma Endeley.
Thank you very much, Lady Casey. I'm going to be very brief because it's time to round up. I just want to tell my fellow Ambazonians and my fellow countrymen and women that do not listen to those who try to tell you that your brothers and sisters in the diaspora are really not for you, that they don't have your back. Let me tell you, Without the diaspora, this thing would have ended. We would have been back to square one as slaves, because that is what La République wants. Every revolution, every country that is being going through what we are going through needs the diaspora, because if La République had the control of the diaspora, all of us would have been in jail. We would have been in Kodengi at this point, so that they would have had a say to do exactly what they want to do. And that is the threat. So when they are trying to advise you or to tell you that, look, the diasporans are the ones who do not want this thing to end, do not be fooled, my people. Do not be fooled. You need us as we need you. You are on ground, and God put us here for a purpose. A lot of us, this trouble met us out in the diaspora. And we are here because we do want to come back home. We want our country to function like a civilized country, not a slave dungeon, which it is right now. And they know that they will have to, this thing has to be settled on the table. And they know that it is those who know what is happening who can sit and analyze the situation and help those who are down there, because you really you are in the grips of the lion. You are in the in the dungeon, and you need us as we need you. This We are going to work this thing out together as we need each other. And 22nd of September 2017 was the beginning. We are at the finish line. We are at the finish line because La République is on its way down. It's on its knees already, and they know that all their tactics to keep us in slavery has failed. So please do not give up. We are not going to give up, and God is our strength. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ma Endeley. And Dr. Yaya, I would come straight to you and you join us briefly on the program today. And what are your words for our people as we, commemorate this day, the day of education, awareness, and the shooting out of our people of Amazonia, knowing who they are? Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Lady Casey, and brilliant conclusive statements there from Ma Emma and Madam Speaker of the House, Dr. Winnie Lobati. Yes, I just want to add my voice to these great women of our struggle to say that we should keep the faith. We shouldn't despair. The road is long and tedious, but it is honorable and worth it. So please keep the faith. Don't be discouraged. We hear a lot of people make statements like, oh, things would have been good if not for the war. Oh, they play this guilt trip, I say it, or a trick, I don't know what the English word is. But when you hear people say that and they are not really standing, taking a position, what do they mean by, oh, if not of this thing, we would have been peaceful, our people are suffering? Please remind them that Mr. Biya of La République du Cameroon started this genocide or war or whatever we call it on our people. So if they are bothered about the situation right now, then they should go back to the root cause. And if they want a stop to this, then they should go to the negotiation table so that this is resolved as an international problem, because that is what it is. It is a result of failed decolonization, and the matter should be put to rest by having two respectable neighbors that may or may not, have economic, relationships. So please stay put. We have made losses, but there is no freedom that comes without a price. The price is the loss of life, unfortunately. The price is the loss of time. The price is our families being disintegrated, refugees spreading all across the world. But guess what? If I were to die and I had a choice between dying as a thief and a corrupt bully, killing other people, or dying as a freedom fighter. I definitely would choose the path of a freedom fighter. So, to the mamas who have lost their children, their sons, to our women who have lost their husbands, and to our men who have also lost their wives, because we have our sisters, mothers who have put their lives on the line to save, to free Ambazonia. Please take heart and know that your child or your son or your husband died an honorable death, and God in heaven is going to honor them. So, Ambazonians, keep the faith. We are getting there. Definitely, we shall see promised land for sure. God bless you all.
Wow, thank you. The spirit of the Amazonian woman is so inspiring. And I just hope the men are taking of notes, because with these powerful women, we are certainly getting to Goya. Mate, our Secretary of State for Women's Services, and it's over to you to round up officially for this special program tonight. Thank you very much.
Well. Let me start by really thanking my four amazing sisters for joining me on this special broadcast today. Ma Winnie, Ma Emma, Lady Casey, and Dr. Yaya. It's been a pleasure. September 22nd evokes both sweet and bitter memories to me. Sweet in the sense that our people revolted against what had been the norm, and through that revolution, on that date, September 22nd, we restored our identity. We restored our dignity, our humanity. Those are very important, sweet aspects of September 22nd. But bitter also in the sense that for the first time in a very long time, we saw death in the open. It's documented in the Ambazonia Genocide Library that over 120 something people were killed. But we know that this number is just a micro number, because the real numbers were not possible to be displayed because the internet was off. It was also said that more than 2,000 people were maimed. So they have this reminder year in, year out of what happened to them. But remember the good thing that when these people came out, they told Bia, they were chanting, "Let my people go. Let my people go. Go down to Itudi. Go down to Yaoundé and tell Bia to let my people go." Those were the peaceful chants by our people. 7 years down the road today, I conclude this program to light a candle for all those who have fallen, all our brothers and sisters that have gone, because we miss them. I also want to sing this song briefly, because today is Sunday. It's a short song, and we all know it. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome someday. So that is telling us that we will be in Boya as a people, governed by our own people, and it will be the government of the people, by the people, for the people of Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia in our territory. And that's the outcome we are looking for in the near future. Thank you so much, and happy September 22nd.
Wow,
Thank you.
thank you,
Happy.
thank you, thank you.
Thank
I
you.
want to take this opportunity to thank everybody that join us on this conversation today. I want to thank Emma Endeley, our able director of ABC Amba TV, Dr. Winnie Lobati, our house speaker, chair lady, Dr. Yaya, our secretary, and Ma MMP, Dr. Patience Abiedu, our Secretary of State for Women Services. It has been an amazing time. It has been a great conversation, and it's been also a time of a reminder of how far we've come, of how far things have happened within our revolution, and to remind ourselves of the nature and the characteristics of who the enemy is, as we continue our freedom. Thank you all for joining, and we'll see you next on the horizons and our regular time on Fridays. Thank you and stay blessed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
that we shall overcome someday. We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We are not afraid today. Oh,